This is Matt Russell, and welcome to the DailyFX forum.
So here are the four pairs that I will be discussing this evening: the Euro Pound, the Aussie Kiwi, the Pound Swiss, and the Euro Swiss. Let's go ahead and pull up the charts. The first chart is the Euro Pound. Now, if you recall, at the beginning of this week, I mentioned that we might have a potential long trade here against the 61.8 fib. I did mention yesterday's report that we did have the close beneath the level, and then obviously the next candle we had a very large, you can call this a bullish engulfing candle, but you know, bottom line is it's a very bullish development. Now, I want to walk you through how I personally, what happened to me, my experience with this trade. It was a slight loss, lost I believe it was like 11 pips on the trade idea. I was looking to enter right above this, the low of this candle wick right here, and I entered on this candle right here, and then we had the close beneath, so I exited the trade. And then obviously the next trade was a very large bullish candle. Now, this is going to happen in trading, and you know, if there's one thing that I can impart in terms of my experience, it's not taking anything like this personally. It's not, you know, the biggest problem with trading and newer traders is that feeling that you're going to miss something, and this is a great example of it. I completely missed. I wasn't very confident in terms of the analysis, but then the pair did exactly what I thought it would do, just not, you know, in the right context. And again, this is something that we have to deal with as traders and just move on to the next opportunity. And I wish that I can impart to you my exact mental state when I'm reading these charts, when I'm entering these trades, but again, this does come with experience, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with missing a trade. And if you can look back and say, I made the right decision, the results of the trade really are irrelevant. The next chart, if you forgive my little rant there, the next chart is the Aussie Kiwi, and not much has changed here. Again, this is a channel line. This was a short trade based off the channel line. I did mention, you know, when I did mention this this trade idea, that I didn't have very high confidence, but it did in fact act as resistance, and prices came down towards the middle of the range and now are rallying slightly. If you're short, I would continue to stay short right now, or hopefully maybe, you know, take profits in the middle of the range down here, maybe in the 24.50 area. If you are flat, I would again just keep this line up on the upper resistance line here for the channel and look for prices to come towards that line, maybe a few pips just beneath it, and look to enter on the short side. The next chart is the Pound Swiss, and not much has changed here. I was mentioning at the beginning of this week looking for a potential double top formation just above that 81 figure. It did happen, but it wasn't very clean. The high prints over here were about the 80-90 area, so maybe you entered, maybe you didn't. I personally didn't enter this trade. I wanted to actually wait for prices to come up and breach that 181 figure. So if you're in this trade, we had a nice bearish engulfing candlestick pattern right now, so I would expect further losses in this pair moving forward, but of course anything can happen, and the most important thing is to have a good entry price. What I mean by that is that we shouldn't, even though the technicals favor a decline from this point, we shouldn't enter the trade here because it simply represents too much risk. We'd have to put a 250 to 300 pip stop to place our stop above the most recent highs, and that, in my opinion, just represents too much risk. So if you are flat, we should use any bearish developments as, you know, waiting for prices to come down and test the longer term support line formed by the late 2008 low, the mid-March low right here, and this price point is right now around the 175 figure. So that's something, again, if you're flat, something that we should look forward to over the next 24 to 48 hours. The last chart is the Euro Swiss, and not much has changed here. Still just waiting for prices to come down and test the longer term support line formed by the mid-March low as well as the late June low right here, and this again is what I would be keeping on the radar screen, waiting for prices to come down and test it.